How are you? Well, this is very weird for me because I'm not used to doing any videos like this. My name is Oneisha Johnson, and this is my first YouTube video. This is very strange. I don't like I don't like being on social media in this aspect. I like watching social media, but I don't like being on social media in this aspect. So this is uniquely different for me. My name is Oneisha Johnson, and I am a writer, and I am currently writing a book entitled Cruelty. And I'm going to explain why I'm going about it this way. I'm actually writing the book um, as we speak, and I am going to be talking about the book via YouTube. Um, to give a little background, just a small. I probably, I'm a little messy with this because this is very abrupt. So you gotta excuse me. My videos will get better in time. I'm very new at this, but I'm doing a book writing a book, called Cruelty. Now, to give a little bit of background, this book has been about 10 or 15 years in the making, but my title before was In Prison with No Walls. And I was writing and going through different life situations as I was writing. And through life circumstances, I changed the book to Cruelty. So and there's a reason for that as I get further into the book and why I entitled Cruelty. I do have a WordPress website, www.oneishajohnson.wordpress.com. I also have that link at the bottom. Is that how y'all YouTubers do? There's a link. I watch YouTube with my kids. I was supposed to say, what up, guys? This is Oneisha. I'm learning. But anyway, I'm off track. So, what's up, guys? I'm Oneisha, and I'm a writer. So I'm writing a book called Cruelty. And it's my book, and I'm going to give more as I keep, going on. But this book, I planned from the beginning that this book will be free. I know that that's crazy. It's crazy. Why wouldn't I charge for the book? I know it's crazy. I'll explain it later, but it's a little cuckoo, but it's going to be free. And I'm going to, instead of having it, just a book, I've decided there's a pressing in my soul, in my spirit, to just start getting it out now. And if I don't release it now, I don't think I'm going to ever release it. And I feel this, there's something from above. It's like, you should just get it out. So I've placed myself in a very uncomfortable situation. And I place myself in this situation because if I don't start it now and don't do this, which is so awkward to me, it's not going to get done. And it's going to be 20 years going down the line. And it's just, I can't. So, Cruelty. Now, the book is going to be, I'm going to place it on WordPress, okay? I'm going to also come back on YouTube and I'm going to speak out the book, it's going to be an audio book on YouTube. Why I'm doing it this way? Because, I can go through publishers or self-publish and all that, but again, I say it's a pressing in my soul that I need to work with what I got and just put it out now and do it the best way I know how. I'm going to do an audio book because not everyone knows how to read. So I'm also so that's why I'm going to do this audio book through YouTube. I'm also going to have captions at the bottom for those that can't hear but still can read and would rather just look at it through YouTube or same as WordPress, however you want to do it. Now, about the book. This book is about my life and my journey, and for me, I think it's a unique journey because I'm not running into people that's kind of going through the same or have been through the same things. Some things, but not kind of the same. I think it's unique and it's different. And again, I think it's a pressing that someone needs to hear this. Now, I don't expect, to get a whole lot of people listening to this, or even on my website on WordPress.com, OneishaJohnson.wordpress.com. But if it's just one person, one person that needs to hear my story, then that's all right with me. It's been for the last couple of weeks, I've been losing sleep. I've been praying on how I'm going to get this book done, and every time I start to organize it, to do it in a professional manner, I get spiritually attacked. And so I said, you know what? I got all that I need. I'm going to trust the Lord and just do it just like this. Besides, it's free anyway, but the content is of pure value. Now, I am a Christian, and it's concerning my Christian walk. But it's not so glamorous, Sometimes I guess we look at, Christians and like, ooh, oh, it's so peaceful and da-da-da-da-da. Well, not my road. My road has been a little messy. A little messy, a little up and down, going through a whole lot of things. I fell, in my walk, but the Lord has held me up. I made a lot of mistakes in that. I've even questioned some things. And before I sought the Lord, I did question, Christianity as well. I am an individual that grew up in let's start this one. My experiences and why it's important to write this book. And again, I say I'm not trying to rattle, but I believe if for one person out there, I don't know, because it's pressing in my soul. It got to be for one person. I'm putting myself on the line for whomever this one individual is that needs to hear this. It got to be one person. It got to be, because I'm going through too much concerning this book. Now, to give a little bit of background on what this book is about. So it's going to be chapters, small chapters, and it's straight to the point, and the book is going to be quick. Straight to the point, quick, simplistic, easy, like that, okay? But it's going to give backgrounds concerning, who I am, where I'm from, and my surroundings around that time, and even today. Now, I grew up going to church with Christian families. My Christian family, can I say, but I also, my grandparents were connected with the, Masonic temple. And so my grandfather was a Mason. My grandparents passed, but he was a Mason. He was one of the, I don't know too much about it, the highest Mason. From my understanding on a high level, however that works, my grandmother was an Eastern Star. As a little girl, was going back and forth to the lodges, to their meetings. I wasn't allowed to sit in their meetings. I had to sit, outside the meetings, but I was involved in this Masonic thing. And we, still went to church. So I'm going to explain that. Am I an Eastern Star, and am I a part of this secret society? No. But despite the fact that's how I was brought up. It's my life. Okay. I was born into that. Okay. But I'm not into that. I don't know nothing about that, other than that was what my grandparents were very proud of doing, and I used to go to the lodge and to their meetings, and they were Masons, and they were Eastern Stars, and they had their own society. So I'm going to get more, not basically on the society, because I don't really know much about it. I'm just a little girl around it, but that was my life. Also, growing up in my household, we had a half Christian and half Muslim household, and my stepfather was Muslim. So I grew up with Christian values and also learning Muslim values and what they believe. And so I'm walking, my walk, inquisitive learning, I'm Christian, but then there's a Muslim, and I'm surrounded by Muslims all of my life. Okay? Yeah. I'm Christian, I'm not Muslim, but the thing is, like, how do I live like that? How am, I go about without having spiritual warfare concerning Muslims? It's uniquely different lifestyle. Yeah. Very unique, very different, but yet I'm Christian. So I'm going to explain this and explain my journey in that, explain the things that I've been going through, explaining the spiritual warfare as well, explaining a lot. Another thing I'm going to talk about in my experience is I have a title. See, one chapter is called "The Cruelty of Having Sexual Desires Way Too Young." That's a chapter, and in that chapter, we're talking about, whether if you've been molested, if you've been raped. I'm talking about my experience though, but I'm going to get a little bit deeper into that. Or maybe you had these sexual encounters at a very young age, and now you're confused about whether or not, if it is rape. And I'm going to get in more on why I say that. And you're confused about, is it molestation? Is it rape? And I'm going to explain that later. But I'm also going to, talk about all the pain and the suffering that comes with that, all the shame and the guilt that comes with that. I used to be a party girl. Yes, bartender too. Yes, I need that shot. I drank a lot. I wasn't an alcoholic, but when I went to the bar, yes, she drank. We had, I partied, drunk, drugs. Yes, she partied. And then went to church. Oh my. Oh my. So we're going to talk about my journey. I thank the Lord for His grace and mercy on my life, and I thank the Lord that He's brought me to this place. I understand that everybody is not Christian. It's okay. I'm not recruiting here. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not my intent. I don't know what the Lord has, but if it's just one person, I don't know, maybe that needs to hear this story, or maybe they need to hear maybe some of the experiences I've been through and the pain that I've been through, and maybe they're going through it. I don't want them to think that they are alone. I don't want them to think that they are strange. If they had some sexual encounters and confused on whether or not, they feel guilty about it and not sure whether or not to talk about it, not sure whether to call it molestation, don't know really, who to blame. They're blaming themselves. I'm going to talk about that too. So whoever it may be, this one person is, hey, this is for you, without a shadow of a doubt. I may get into, because I am writing this book. It's going to be a continuation. I'm writing this book as I go along. I'm just putting myself out there, because if I don't do it this way again, like I said, it's never going to get done. We may talk about homosexuality, bisexual. Am I gay? No, I'm not gay. I'm heterosexual. I like men, but there are others close to me that are in that lifestyle. The only way that I am going to talk about that, or I may have interview that person, if they agree. I'm not about putting other people's business out there. The intent in this book and what I'm doing is not about nobody else's business, but it's about my business. Okay? So if the person wants to come and we maybe discuss that, this individual whom I love very much, and their lifestyle and how they feel about me being Christian and my feeling on that, but yet I still love them, and whatever the difference is, whatever they want to just talk about it and keep it 100, we can do this too. But that's only if they agree to that, and I'm not going to be talking about that and putting somebody else's business out there if that's not what they want to do. That is not my intention. I'm going to put my business out there. Now, so I gave you a little thing about some of the things, and as I'm going along, I'm kind of up to 3 chapters. I'm going to typeset the first chapter on WordPress, and I'm going to come back and speak about it. But I'm going to give you a little bit just to kind of break it down. Okay, I gotta excuse me because I'm real messy with this. I'm not used to this. I'm gonna give you a little bit of, I think this may be my 3rd or 4th chapter And this is not the whole chapter. I'm just going to give you a little bit to about this book, so you can kind of understand where I'm going. So this chapter is called "The Cruelty of Having Sexual Desires Way Too Young." Okay, so I'm just going to read this. I'm going to get better with this. I'm going to have to find a better way to do this, but I'm going to just read a little bit of the chapter, okay? In this particular chapter, I need to state that this book is not a one-size-fits-all book. Not all have the same experiences, and some experiences can be more extreme than others. The point of the matter is, there are some experiences in life that can cause much pain and much grief. This chapter is geared to any reader that has experienced situations under similar circumstances as I have. In discussing sexual desires at a young age, I will express my thoughts that I have now. I will express my thoughts that I had in the past and what I have now. If you have ever had a similar thought or an experience or any emotional things that are tied to what I'm going to express, I don't want you to feel that you are alone. Okay, now here goes this little poem, and it goes into a poem. I'm going to get better with this, okay? And this is a poem as I go into the book. At 13 or 14, I wonder if these feelings are normal. There is something strange going on within me. I believe it's normal to like boys, but my like, or what I think I like, or what I think my body is telling me, I desire to go one step further. These urges I cannot explain, but I think I want to take it one step further. A boy my age is just a little bit too immature for me. I mean, I feel way mature than most people my age. My menstrual has begun, and I'm a woman now. At least that is what I think. At least that is what my body is telling me. On the inside, these urges is telling me that I'm ready for more. And maybe what I'm seeking, some older man, more experienced, can show me the way. I am a woman now. At least that is what I think. I think my body is telling me this, and if an older guy would tell me the same, then I can assume that it is confirmed. I am, at least I think I am, ready for the forbidden touch. And so that goes into a poem at a young girl, a young adolescent, in a state of mind. Have you felt that way before? Have you ever been in that situation before? Are you in that situation before? Does it sound familiar? And that's the state of mind of a 13, 14, 15-year-old girl having these urges at a very young age. Now, I'm going to go into what it says afterwards. I'm not reading the whole chapter right now, okay? And this is not a poem. This is what I'm writing after this. Have you ever felt this way? I know I have. Have you ever acted on these thoughts, meaning went that extra step, willing and ready to go that extra step in those urges and those feelings? As well as feeling confident about the decision that you're about to make. As long as your parents don't find out, we good with that. That's how, you feel when you're about to, go through that forbidden touch. Or maybe you are an individual that had their innocence taken prior to these urges without mental consent. And from that point on, you just don't care. How could you ever think about preserving your body in innocence when your innocence was taken by force without your consent? Or maybe you are that one that had their innocence taken but confused on if it was actually taken because your mind might have been saying yes, or your mind might have been saying no, but your urges was definitely saying yes. Sounds familiar? And now you're a bit confused. And as your minds begin to mature and you get older and mature greatly, you realize that there is something wrong with the decisions and these actions that you have made. And now you don't know who to blame. Is it my fault because I wanted the forbidden touch? Or is it the other person's, the older person's fault for agreeing? Is this rape? Is it consensual? I thought I was mature enough to handle all these decisions that I have made, but as I really matured, I came to understand that my mind nor my body was even fully developed. I knew not what I did, but I liked what I did. Indeed. I knew not what I did, but today I despise those decisions. Or maybe you are the one, regardless of whether you understood or not, your innocence was taken, not upon any delusional consent, and you came to find yourself with sexual urges, hurt and pain, and you just decided, you know what, I'm just going to do me anyway. Yes, indeed, if you have those experiences, I understand, or better yet, do you find yourself grown, meaning no longer in adolescence, and you have experienced a situation that I have stated before, and you find yourself with multiple sexual partners, looking for love in all the wrong places, not sure what love really is, having so much hurt with emotional shame and guilt. Maybe you're just unsure as to why you're even feeling guilty. But at this point in time, rent is due, and your priorities are consuming you, and you don't have time to even deal with such hurt. In other words, it is what it is. I truly understand that too. So in that, talking about these sexual, desires and confused on whether it is rape, what if you wanted it? But yet your mind is not, mature enough. Do we place blame? Or do we not place blame? What if you were just taken and you didn't want anything? And then you find yourself can't even live a life of purity or even thinking about it because somebody didn't took your innocence before. And so you're confused and you're going through all these emotional hurts, all this pain, all this guilt. Your life is just like a spider web. I'm talking about me. Good morning. I like to say that. That's good morning. But that's a little bit of what, and I'm going to get a little bit better with that, because this is really abrupt for me doing it this way. And I'm going to, go further in all these chapters, and it's not going to be 20 chapters, and it may just be 5 chapters. It may just be 10. It's going to be a really small book, but it's going to be straight to the point. Even, it's about love, it's about forgiveness, it's about hurt, it's about pain, but it's just about my life and how I've dealt with it. It's about, even, questioning Christianity, questioning how do you, it's a lot. And so that's it. And I'm going to stop right here and come back a little better prepared. And, another thing. When I do these videos, I'm not going to be showing my face because it's not about me on the video. So I'm going to blacken my screen and I'm going to read the book. So only thing you're going to hear is my voice, and I will have captions at the bottom if necessary. Maybe I'll have the captions in a different language or something just to be uniquely different. I don't know. But I will have captions at the bottom, but I'm not going to display my face when I read the book because I just want you to hear the content of this book. It's just one person, then I will be very, very grateful. And that's it. And again, my name is Oneisha Johnson. My website, www.oneishajohnson.wordpress.com. It is up and running, but there's no content on it yet. So I will put the content on there very shortly. Thank you so much for your time and have a wonderful day. I'm silly too. Bye.